Alright, we're gonna go over our clearance lights. They're not cracked, pitted, or broken, are properly mounted and secure, amber in color. Our turn signals and our four-way flashers are not cracked, pitted, or broken, amber in color, properly mounted and secure. Our high and low beams are white or clear in color, not cracked, pitted, or broken, properly mounted and secure. We'll look under the vehicle. There's no puddles of oil, fuel, power steering, or coolant leaks. There's also no wires, belts hanging. The vehicle itself is not leaning to the left or the right. That will indicate a suspension failure. I'm gonna go ahead and go under the hood now. Coolant reservoir is not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted, secure. I will check it here and fill it if necessary here, and it's not leaking. The coolant reservoir hoses have no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Fittings are tight and it's not leaking. Now we'll go around. Right here I have my oil reservoir. I will check it here and I'll fill it here. The process of checking is I will remove it, wipe it down, reinsert it, remove it once again, check the level. Once I check the level, if I need to fill it, I'll fill it here with the engine off and it's not leaking. This right here is my power steering reservoir. My power steering reservoir is not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted, secure, no loose or missing nuts or bolts. I will check it here and I'll fill it here and I'll fill above the add mark. The steering shaft has no more than 10 degrees of play, is not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secure, no loose or missing nuts or bolts. The U-joints are not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secure, well greased and no free of debris. This right here is my power steering gearbox, not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted, secure, no loose or missing nuts or bolts, and is not leaking. Pitman arm, not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted, secure, no loose or missing nuts or bolts, ball joints are well lubed, castle nuts are present, cotter keys are in place and bent. Drag link, not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secure, no loose or missing nuts or bolts, ball joints are well lubed, castle nuts are tight, cotter keys are in place and bent. Upper control arm, not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted, secure, no loose or missing nuts or bolts, ball joints are well lubed, castle nuts are present, cotter keys are in place and bent. The lower control arm is attached to the tie rod, it's back here. The lower control arm, same thing, not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted, secure, no loose or missing nuts or bolts, ball joints are well lubed, castle nuts are present, and cotter keys are in place. Tie rod is this right here. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted, secure, no loose or missing nuts or bolts, ball joints are well lubed, castle nuts are present, and cotter keys are in place and bent. Steering axle has no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, evenly worn. My outer and inner sidewalls have no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. I will check every major groove with a truck tire depth gauge. The steer tire should have no less than 4/32 of an inch depth, and any other tire should have no less than 2/32 of an inch. I'm going to my rims. My rims are not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted, secure. There's no hammer marks on the rims. My valve stems, easily accessible. It should have a good cap, not touching the rim, and it should be filled to the manufacturer specifications located on the side of the tire. PSI, on this case, is 120 PSI. My lug nuts are not cracked, bent, or broken, all tight and secure. There's no rust trails around my lug nuts that will indicate a loose lug nut or a cracked rim. Front spring mount, not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted, secure, no loose or missing nuts or bolts, and has good rubber bushing. My leaf springs is flat metal that goes up and down. The flat metal right there is leaf spring. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secure. It's not scissoring. No more than 1/4 of the leaf spring is cracked, bent, broken, or missing. That will put the vehicle out of service. My shock absorber is this right here. My shock absorber is not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secure. No loose or missing nuts or bolts, and has good rubber bushing, and it's not leaking. So the rear spring mount is in the back right there. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secure, no loose or missing nuts or bolts, and has good rubber bushing. Now we're going to go to our braking components. This line right here is our ABS line. It's not worn, torn, or frayed, and has a proper connection. This is my air brake hose or line, has no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, fittings are tight, and it's not leaking. We're gonna go to my brake lining, which is right here. My brake lining, no less than 1/4 of an inch at its thinnest point, and there's no foreign contaminants that will be affecting the braking for my brake pad, lining, or drum. These are my air brake lines, have no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Fittings are tight and it's not leaking. This is my mirror bracket. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. Properly mounted, secure. No loose or missing nuts or bolts, as mounted properly. In here, I have my batteries. I'll access it like that. My battery box is not cracked, bent, or broken. Properly mounted, secure. No loose or missing nuts or bolts. My wires, I have good connection, not worn, torn, or frayed. The poles have no signs of corrosion, and the batteries themselves are not leaking. My def tank is not cracked, bent, or broken. Properly mounted, secure. No loose or missing nuts or bolts. My def cap is on tight, is not leaking. My fuel tank's not cracked, bent, or broken. Properly mounted, secure. No loose or missing nuts or bolts. My def tank cap, my fuel tank cap is not cracked, tight, and not leaking. My truck frame is not cracked, bent, or broken. Properly mounted, secure. No illegal holes or welds, and there's no cracks in the welds. My cross member, not cracked, bent, or broken. Properly mounted, secure. No loose or missing nuts or bolts, and no illegal holes or welds. This is my blue line, is my service airline. My red line is my emergency airline. My green line is my electric cord. In my blue and red line, which are my airlines, they have no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Fittings are tight, not leaking, has a proper connection from the glad hands to the truck, and it's suspended and not touching the catwalk. The glad hands themselves are not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secure with good rubber grommets. Electric cord is my green cord. It's suspended, not touching the catwalk, has a proper connection from the trailer to the truck, and it's not worn, torn, or frayed. Clearance lights on top of the trailer bulkhead, not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted, secure, amber in color. My side marker lights are not cracked, pitted, or broken, also amber in color. My trailer frame is this right here, goes all the way down. My trailer frame is not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secure. No loose or missing nuts or bolts, and no cracks in the welds. My DOT tape is present, and it covers at least 50% of the trailer, is reflective and working properly. Apron is this flat metal right here. It is not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secure. No loose or missing nuts or bolts. It has no cracks in the welds and no illegal holes. My fifth wheel skid plate is this component right here. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secure. No loose or missing nuts or bolts, and is properly mounted to my platform. There's this triangle area right here. My release lever and my locking lever is this right here. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted and secure, and the locking lever is currently in the lock position with the locking jaw locked around the kingpin shank. The kingpin shank is properly welded to the apron, and there is a good clearance between the apron and the landing gear. This right here is my slide rail. My slide rail is not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted, secure, no loose or missing nuts or bolts, and the locking pins are right here. They're present, not cracked, bent, or broken, or missing. My turn signals, four-way flashers, are red in color, except for my not cracked, pitted, or broken, working properly, except for my reverse light that is white in color. That's the center, the one in the center is not cracked, bent, or broken, and working properly. The landing gear is not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted, secure, no loose or missing nuts or bolts, no cracks in the welds, and the handle is currently in the stowed position. Works both in high and low gear. It's currently raised all the way up with the landing pad free of debris and working properly. This area right here is the trailer floor. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. These are my cross members. They're not cracked, bent, or broken, properly mounted, secure, no loose or missing nuts or bolts, no illegal holes or welds, and no holes on the trailer floor. Right here, I have my ABS light. It's not cracked, pitted, or broken, amber in color. Up here, I have my clearance lights of the trailer. They're red in color, not cracked, pitted, or broken, working. And then I have my turn signals, my four ways, and my running lights. They're red in color, not cracked, pitted, or broken, and working properly. So I would check my passenger side the way I check my driver's side. I have chucked my wheels. Now I'll get into the vehicle. I have chocked my wheels. My seatbelt is fastened. Transmission is in neutral. My parking brakes are set. I'll be performing my air brakes and my in-cab inspection. I'll give all my readings from my primary gauge only, which is this one right here. I'll turn my key to the on position. My ABS light came on, my ABS light went off. My depth gauge is also on. It's showing no less than 1/8 of a tank, and my lane departure line came on and off. All my systems are working properly. Now I'm gonna check my primary gauge. I'll make sure it's under 100. If it's over 100, I'll fan it down. It's under 100, so I'll perform a safe start. I will turn my key to the on position and I'll perform a safe start. I'll be revving my RPMs to 1,000. And I'll be waiting for my governor to cut out. My governor should cut out between 120 and 140 psi. That's my governor cutting out. My governor cut out about 120 psi. This is a good reading because my governor should cut out between 120 and 140. At this point, I will turn off the vehicle. I will turn the key to the on position, and I'll be performing my applied air leakage test. I'll be pushing in my tractor valve, I'll be pushing in my trailer valve, and I'll be pushing in and holding my service brake. I'll wait for my needle to stabilize. Once it stabilizes, I will give you a reading, and I'll be timing myself for 1 minute. My needle has stabilized at 85 psi. I will start my minute. After a minute, I will give you a reading, and I should not lose more than 4 psi in any given minute. All right, my minute has stopped. I have reached a minute. My primary gauge is still reading 85, so I lost 0 psi. This is a good reading because I should not lose more than 4 psi in any given minute. At this point, the instructor checks and verifies, and then you let go of your service brake. My next test is my low air warning test. I will fan down my brake once per minute until my low air warning appears. My low air warning should appear here and here as a light and or a buzzer. So fan it down. We're waiting for a light and or a buzzer. So my light has appeared. That's my low air warning. My low air warning came on at 60 psi. This is a good reading because it should come on no lower than 55 psi. My next test is my spring brake test. These are my spring brakes. I will be fanning down my brake until my spring brakes apply. So make sure we keep an eye on our spring brakes. My trailer brake applied at 25 psi. And now we'll continue fanning down for my tractor brake. All right, my tractor brake applied at 20 psi. This is a good reading because both my tractor and trailer brake applied between 20 and 45 psi. I will unchock my wheels. Make sure you close your door. Set the wheels, open, and safely put them back into the truck. So I unchocked my wheels, my seatbelt's fastened, my transmission is in neutral, my parking brakes are set. I'll be turning on my vehicle and safe start. And I'm going to rev it to 1,000 RPMs once again. And I'm waiting for my governor to cut out. Once again, it should be between 120 and 140 psi. My governor cut out again. Now we're going to be performing our parking brake test. We're going to be pushing in our trailer and tugging against our tractor. So I'll be releasing my trailer brakes and I'll be putting my vehicle in drive. And I'll be tugging slightly on my tractor brakes. All right. My tractor brakes held the vehicle in place. Now I'm putting back into neutral, pulling the brake, My tractor brakes are working properly because they held the vehicle in place. Now I'm gonna tug against my trailer brakes, so we're gonna be pushing in our tractor brakes, tugging against our trailer brakes, put it in drive, tug.
That's the idiot.
Put it back into neutral. Our trailer brakes are working properly because they held the vehicle in place. And now we will be building pressure to capacity one more time, so we could perform our last test, which would be our surface brake test. My governor cut out, and now we're gonna be performing our surface brake test. I'll be pushing in my tractor, I'll be pushing in my trailer, and I'll be putting it in drive. I'll be pulling forward at about 5 miles an hour. I'll be looking at my mirror, let go of the wheel, hit my surface brake. My truck and trailer came to a stop in a straight line. My surface brakes are working properly. My windshield is not cracked, pitted, or broken. Has a good rubber seal. The rubber seal is not worn, torn, or frayed. It has no illegal stickers. My windshield wipers, I'll demonstrate. They both working properly, have a good rubber tension. The rubber blades are not worn, torn, or frayed, and there's water coming out of both ends. My mirrors, make sure you point at all your mirrors. My mirrors are all not cracked, pitted, or broken, properly mounted and secure, and there is no illegal stickers, and they're all adjusted towards me. I'm the driver. Demonstrate your left turn signal, your right turn signal, your high beam, your low beam, your high beam, it's right here, and your four-way flashers, it's over here. Demonstrate that those are working. Now we're gonna go over here. We're gonna demonstrate our heater. Make sure you turn on the heater. This is the heater. It has to be here, here, and here. Heater, demonstrate that the heater is working. And then you can switch it to the defroster. Demonstrate that the defroster is working. Once the air blows, you have demonstrated properly, and then you turn it off. We'll also demonstrate that the city horn works. We have 2 city horns on this truck, and we have 1 air horn. Make sure you demonstrate that they're working properly. Now we're gonna go to our safety equipment. We have a fire extinguisher, which is rated to the green with the pin in place, properly mounted to the truck, and it's rated for this truck. And behind the seat, we have a red box with 3 reflective triangles that are freestanding, reflective, and not cracked, bent, broken, or missing. And in the box, the clear box, we have 6 spare fuses, and that's our safety equipment. That's it.